Timothy 2:12, Paul says, I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority over men. In the scripture, the word authority translates from the Greek word authentian. However, we see the word authority being used multiple times throughout scripture, like Matthew 28:18, where it tells us that Jesus has been given authority over the heavens and the earth, or Luke 10:19, where it tells us that we have been given authority to trample over serpents and scorpions. That word authority is translated differently from the Greek word exousia, showing us that we have two words in the Greek for the word authority, exousia and authentian. Now, authentian is only used one time in scripture in 1 Timothy 2:12. Now, exousia describes a legitimate authority, a recognized authority, an ordained authority. Authentian describes an illegitimate authority, a domineering and controlling authority. So Paul intentionally uses authentian in this text instead of exousia because his problem is not with women having authority, period. Or else he would have used exousia, saying, I don't care if your authority is legitimate or not. You're a woman. You can't teach. That's not what he said. He used authentian if you are interested in the context, which you should be if you're reading any scripture. Paul is speaking to the church of Ephesus at that time. The women in the church were recent converts from a pagan religion. Not only a pagan religion, but a religion where women were the authority figures. So imagine these women coming over to the church where there is a completely new order, and they are holding on to this authoritative role that they used to have. Not only that, but they're hasty to teach, which we see a lot of this even today in the faith. We have a lot of recent converts, baby Christians who have not been discipled, who have no knowledge, no understanding, no wisdom, but are hasty to teach. That is the same thing that the women of the church of Ephesus were doing. And because of that, they were causing confusion in the church. They were blending doctrine, which resulted in false doctrine. So so Paul had to come back and get more order back in the church. That is why he told them, this is way too confusing. So from now on, y'all just don't say nothing, which we had a right to. It wasn't misogynistic. It was order in the church.
Alright, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Smart. Before I do anything, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered abroad. And with that, this is Brother Smart coming at you with another lesson. Lord will, this is edifying. Man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm tired of these freaking women, especially the black women, man. You know, like these freaking women need to just do what the scripture says, man. She looking up words and stuff, man. What does the scripture say, man? Like, it's nothing wrong with looking up words, but the thing is, you don't need to look up the word and you're looking up that word, but yet what about silent? What about, like, let me go to it, man. And she don't keep reading. That's another thing. Hold up. Shalak here. No, First Peter. See that? And she didn't read that. You know what I mean? So, it's like crazy, man. But let me read this real quick. This is 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, in like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array, but which cometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the women learn in silence, with all what? Subjection. What is subjection? Sub meaning under. Okay? You are not supposed to be usurping authority over a man. That's nowhere in the scripture, man. Okay? At all. it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to what? To usurp authority over a man. That's what it says. But to be silence, to be in silence, right? We could look it up. What she said, right? She went to authority. Salakia, slow usurp authority. Arthentio. It says, one who with his own Salakia, one who with his own hands kills another or himself. It says, one who acts on his own authority. Autocritic. An absolute master to govern. Exercise what? Dominion over one. Dominion over one. So that being said, again, it's your what? Master. Okay? Why do you think, and this is another thing, authority is given to the husband because why? It started with your father. Why do you think a lot of these stupid women out here, excuse my, my little thing, but they're really stupid, man. Why do you think, and this is another thing, like, the fact that women all, about, oh, I want to get married, and I want to get married, but they don't even understand the whole point of the marriage thing. The father walking the daughter down and giving the daughter to the husband. He's giving the authority to the husband because your father has authority over you. Now he's giving the authority to the husband to have authority over you now. Do you not get that? These women are like delusional, man. They keep trying every single time to try to make it seem like they're supposed to be all yeah, high and mighty. No, you were supposed to just stay silent and just keep silent. They back then, women, even in other cultures, women say in anything almost is not even a value. So it says what? For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in the childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. I kind of want to look up sobriety real quick. But yeah, man, these people, these women, man, I swear. And then they try to bring up the whole thing about Deborah being a judge Israel and everything. Soundness of mind, self-control. Okay, that's another. Okay, but yeah, which they don't understand that Deborah being a so-called judge, right? They don't realize that was not a good thing. Like, it was a shame because even Deborah herself was like let me get that count. Salakia. It was and even scholars could tell you that. Oh, my bad. Scholars could tell you that, man. All right, so this is nope, that's not it. This is it. All right, so I gotta find the account. Barack, right here. Here we go. This is matter of fact, I want to see what it says in the NLT. Let me see what it says in the NLT. All right. So I'm going to read verse 9. It says, "Very well." This is Judges chapter 4, verse 9. "Very well," she replied. "I will go with you, but you will receive no honor in this, for the Lord's victory over Caesarea, right? Caesarea will be at the hands of a woman." So Deborah went with Barak to Kadesh. So in other words, again, no honor, receiving no honor. But I don't like that. I don't like that NLT though. I guess I'm gonna stick to the KJV. Let me read the KJV. It says, "And she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor, for the Lord shall sell Sisera into the hands of a woman." And right, and Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. So again, this was not supposed to be a thing of, oh wow, a good thing. No, it was a bad thing. This is to put Israel to shame, because they had to what they end up bringing a woman, you know, to do this, man. Even Deborah seen that. Don't count. She said basically, don't count this as like an honor thing, because it's not honor at all. This is a shameful thing. So when they try to bring up Deborah being a a judge or something like that, y'all don't realize that that was not supposed to be a good thing. You know? And mind you, she's not teaching. You know what I mean? And the thing is it's nothing wrong with a woman teaching, but she just not supposed to be out there preaching and as far as like teaching men and everything like that, and having all these, nah, man, that's off. That is off. Now what she can do, which it says it right here, right? They could teach, but it's to teach the children. It says, this is Titus chapter 2 verse 1, "But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. The age of men be sober, grave, temperate, sound of faith and charity and patience. The aged women likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands." Right. That the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Right. It says, "Young men likewise exhort to be sober minded." Right. Yeah, but that's pretty much the point, because again, they can teach the young women, but as far as the men, no, they can't teach men. No, that's off. That's off. But that being said, I'm gonna go back real quick. Let me see something. Um, no, this is up. No. Because ain't no way, and this is the thing too, a man is not supposed to submit to to his wife. A woman's supposed to submit to the husband. It doesn't say anywhere in the scriptures to where a man submits to a woman. Okay, because submit is to be under. That means that if that says that, then the Bible contradicts itself. Okay, because there's an order, man. A man is higher than a woman. Okay. Dang, I forgot what it was. I'm just gonna put that. There you go. There you go. It says, this is Colossians chapter 3 and verse 18. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands. Right? As it is fit in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. See? Love your wives. It didn't say submit, right? No. And and then the woman's gonna be like, no, love is a sign of submission. No, it's not. If it was to say submission, it would have said submission. If it was to say, you know what I'm saying? If it was to, yeah, no. They always try to twist something up, man. But yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. When it comes down to it, these women are under the man. Okay? Let me get that. I think it's 11. 1 Corinthians 11. There it is. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3. But I would have you know that, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 1. But be followers of me, even as I also am of a Mashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach. The head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Yahushua. Now this is a cut to these women out here trying to think that they are high and mighty and trying to think that they can usurp authority over a man, which they can't. Because a man is physically stronger than you. That's why this world's so freaking backwards, man. How is it that a little puny little woman, right, is telling me what to do and trying to come in my face as if she's gonna do something to me? This is a backwards society, man. Like, I could literally, like you kidding me? But this is what it's came to, man. That's why the Lord needs to come back and set order. Everything's gonna be right in the kingdom, man. I best believe these women aren't gonna be, doing the things that they're doing now, man. Cause they going off. But yeah, that cuts that, and then it also cuts these Christians that believe that Yahweh Shai and Yahweh are the same. It clearly shows a distinct is different. See that? Hamashiach is below Yahweh. And for those of you who don't know, Yahweh is who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And there's no other name whereas we shall be saved by, okay? So, that being said, yeah. So, then it goes into prophesying with your head uncovered, and everything like that. But, yeah, that's the point. So, you are under your man, and you will submit. He says jump, you say how high. That's how it works, man. That's always how it's always been, and that's always how it's always will be. Okay? If not, it's not gonna work out. Okay? It's not gonna work out. The man has the final say. And that being said, you can see that even in Muslim culture. You can see that in all these different cultures where the woman is below. You will never see I think it's called a matriarchy. Yeah, that stood the test of time. Okay? So, yeah, so there's just a quick one. So with that, I pray that you've been edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad. And with that, I say, Shalom.